how's it going? It's time for the first Q&A of 2020. You guys leave questions, I answer them. It's pretty straightforward, so let's get into it. From Winged Willow. Hi Pocari, do you know of any suitors that actually lost their suits due to being cut out of them for medical reasons? Not personally, but I have definitely heard of cases from my friends who run cons and events. I don't have any names or sources for you, but even if I did, I wouldn't be giving them because one, well, if that was me, I definitely would be too embarrassed to tell anyone about it. But two, I think the media would take it for a ride. Like, do you remember the chlorine incident at MFF 2014? Hundreds of con attendees had to be evacuated and left in the cold, and 19 people were put in the hospital. Like, this made national news, but it was mostly met with reactions like this.
Sent the hotel guests along with convention attendees into the cold night, many still dressed in their furry costumes.
They are laughing at an incident that could have literally killed people. And they're laughing because it's furries. So I would really hate to think of what they would do if they had a solid source for someone getting cut out of their fursuit. If you don't believe that paramedics will cut a suit open, I can assure you they absolutely will, because that is standard procedure no matter what the patient is wearing. I'm trained in first aid, and in the course they actually show you how to cut someone's clothes off so then you can access their chest to either administer CPR or use a defib. It's standard procedure, so please look after yourself. From To Be Determined. Would I be allowed to attend a con without showing my face? Like go to the con with a mask on and never take it off? I'm guessing no. I don't know about other conventions, but for furry conventions you absolutely can do that. There are plenty of fursuiters who want to keep their identity a secret for a number of personal reasons, so they will spend the entire con with their heads on and only take it off in the privacy of their own rooms. So as long as your mask isn't something offensive, I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that. From Trash Panda. Pocari, I've been noticing a lot of fursuit thefts going around this session. Now, I don't have a suit, but I always have secondhand nervousness in these situations. What would be the most logical step to prevent and then deal with the loss of a fursuit? Thanks. Pretty much every case I've seen where a fursuit gets stolen, it was taken by a non-furry who doesn't understand how pointless it is to take a fursuit, or are just taking unmarked containers and hoping for the best. So the first step would be to mark your fursuit container or tote or whatever you store it in with a big label that says something like mascot costume, because even mascot costumes would be really hard to resell with how unique they are, so a lot of thieves wouldn't bother. Secondly, don't leave your suit somewhere it could be taken. I see a lot of fursuit thefts happen out from cars, so don't leave your suit in your car if your car isn't parked somewhere secure. Then when fursuiting in public, don't leave your suit anywhere that someone could just like casually walk by and swipe it. It's not unheard of that a suit has been taken because it was just sitting there and someone walked by and thought it'd be hilarious to take this silly costume thing, not realizing that they just committed a felony by stealing something worth over $500. As for dealing with the loss of a fursuit, well, the first thing you definitely need to do is report it to the police. When you tell them what the suit is worth, they should take you quite seriously. The next step is to check all the major bins in the area, because it's happened multiple times where a thief just took an unmarked container, opened it up, confused at why they have this mascot thing, don't want it, and throw it out. And then you can put up some flyers about the lost suit and where to contact you, and post about it on social media. Most communities will have like a lost and found page on Facebook, so that's a good place to post about it too. You don't want to only post to furries. From NCG Wolf. Hey Pocari, my persona has a giant tail. I'm debating on making her short tail or longer tail. What should I do? All the hellos from Maryland. I highly recommend making a giant tail and a short tail for your fursuit. Big tails are really great for things like conventions, because you can just suit up at your room, you walk out the door, and you're already at the event, and you don't have to worry about too much dirt getting on your tail because it's all indoors. But outside, giant tails can be quite the nightmare. They take up a lot of extra storage space, so it's a lot more cumbersome to get them to and from wherever you're fursuiting. And if it drags on the floor, it's going to get very, very, very dirty. Nothing that can't be cleaned, so if you're happy with the extra upkeep, then giant tail away, but a shorter tail will definitely be a lot more convenient for outdoor and public scenarios. From Andromeda's Galaxy. So my persona has glasses, and I'm not sure how to get them. I've seen them on suits before, but how can I make them myself if at all? Another alternative, do you know anywhere I could buy them? Love your channel, Andromeda. I've seen some people 3D print glasses before, but what I like to do is get those giant novelty party glasses. You can paint them any color you want, and if you don't like the lens color, it's easy enough just to poke them out and either leave them out or replace them with some clear plastic. They're pretty easy to find on eBay or the party section of dollar stores. To get them to stay on your head, what you can do is connect the ends of them with just a bit of elastic so they kind of function like goggles, or if you want something more permanent, drill some holes in the ends of the frames there, and then just sew them onto your head with a thread that matches your fur color. From Charlotte S. Hi Pocari, I was wondering if you have any ideas on when/where to go suiting where you can interact with kids. Greetings from Michigan, checks the Sheprador. If you want to suit for kids primarily, then I would recommend getting a working with children's check. I'm not sure what these are called in other parts of the world, but I'm pretty sure you'll have your own equivalent. Like, you fill in a bunch of forms, they do a massive background check on you, you pay a fee, and if all is good, you get a special little card that says you are qualified to work with kids. They're a legal requirement for working in places like schools, daycares, children's hospitals, but you don't need a reason to apply for one, and they're really handy to have as a public fursuiter. Especially if you plan to fursuit for kids' charities, they will probably ask you to get one of these checks. Other than charities though, just public parks are great, but you will absolutely need a competent handler or two. Kids can be very overwhelming, especially when there's a lot of them. Like, they will not hesitate to jump on you, pull at your tail, pull at your ears, touch you covered in various sticky food substances, come up from behind you where you'll never ever see them. It's a lot. Suiting for kids is a whole new ballgame, so do be prepared for the extra mental and physical strain, and to have to deep clean and repair your suit a lot more often. From Riptide. How does it feel to walk in a digigrade fursuit? I'm planning on making a half suit and I want to know what it feels like. Thank you for taking your time to read this. Your videos are great. Oh, thank you. Okay, get a pair of pants that are approximately 5 sizes too big. Put them on, stuff some small throw pillows down your thighs, and then put on a pair of shoes that are equally too big. Then if you want to emulate a dropped crotch suit, hold the pants at your knees and walk around without letting them drop further. Why do we do this again? From Kitty the Cat. Hi Pocari, what do you think about adding pockets to a full suit? I think it could be useful, but I'm not sure how it would actually look on a suit. Well, my friend, I have some exciting news for you. Pockets on fursuits are actually already a thing. Ta-da! There's a pocket. Look at that. What have I got in here? I got a peep. What else have I got? Peep. Another peep. And... ah! Invisible peep. I got fix. There we go. Yay! Okay, put it back. There we go. From Jello Fight. Hey Pocari, I was wondering what do you think of Pokesoners / Pokemon OCs? I see a lot of people finding them cringy, and surely it'd raise copyright concerns? People really gotta stop calling things cringe just because they don't like it. Pokesoners are fine, and I honestly love them. I really need to get around to making one myself sometime. You do always have to be careful when it comes to copyright concerns, but I've never seen any legal troubles over Pokemon OCs before. Even just straight up selling merch you've made yourself of Pokemon seems to go okay. Like, I see it in artist stalls all the time at conventions. I think as long as you're not trying to mass produce it on a massive scale and pass it off as official licensed merch with their logos and trademarks and everything, Nintendo seems to be okay. But there are lots of artists and fursuit makers who just don't want to touch characters based on copyrighted IPs like Pokemon, so if you get refused on that basis, please be respectful of their choice. They're just trying to be extra careful. From The Anxious Artist. Hey Pocari, what's your thoughts and opinions on raptor / dino masks when people customize them into their own characters, and do you think they're good as starter fursuits, why or why not? You guys have been asking for my opinions on dino masks for so long, so here we are. What is my opinion on dino masks? I love dino masks! Like, the fact that even became a thing is awesome! Like, who would have thought that a cheap kid's mask would be the foundation for so much creativity and pave the way for our future fursuit makers? It is an incredible entry point for our younger members of the fandom who otherwise can't afford or access professional fursuit making supplies. I honestly see absolutely no downsides to these dino masks, so it makes me so incredibly sad when people criticize them because they're not real fursuits, or they're uncreative, and they're too same-facey. Dino masks are here to stay whether you like them or not, so why not get excited for all these seedling fursuit makers? I cannot wait to come back 5 or 10 years from now and talk to a god tier maker who started on dino masks. It's gonna happen. From Noodles and Doodles. Hello Roo, I'm wondering, if I were to make a reference sheet for a persona, would I have to draw it on a computer? Or could I leave it on paper? Nice video by the way. Me, Noodle, welcome to you from Florida. You can do it on paper, but to make life a lot easier for your artists, put your artwork in some kind of drawing program, even just MS Paint is fine, and make a digital color palette. Most artists will directly color pick the colors off your reference sheet, and doing so on traditional ones produces some pretty muddy colors. So if you can at least make a digital color palette on your ref, there will be a lot less headache for you and your artist. And that is it for another Q&A. Thank you guys so much for your questions, but please feel free to leave me some more in the comments below with the hashtag Q&A, so then I can find them and give a like to the ones that you want to see answered the most. A Patreon shout out to Crema. You're a brand new patron actually, so thank you so much for that and joining the Blue Roo crew and helping to bring this video to these guys. But of course, thank you so much for watching. Would definitely not be here without that. You're amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!